Okay, so we're going to be talking about the myth of Christianity as taught by Dr. Henry Cloud, Steve Atrterburn, and John Townsend, three prominent Christian psychologists who have created a new Christianity, and it's really developed around this ideal of Christianity as a myth. So, if you understand the Bible as a myth and not as something that actually happened. If something actually happened, then you're seeing Bible and their ideal as on a very fundamentally immature level, like all these stories about miracles and da da da. These are trying to teach us there's a myth behind that. That is a hidden story behind it. There's a deeper story behind who Christ is, what he came to do, everything he did and said was teaching us this myth. This myth is only revealed to those who study and have knowledge. It's a Gnostic ideal, and it is really a basis in Gnosticism. It's about knowledge. It's not about Christ being real, a real person. So it starts out with the myth. Starts out with God is in the myth is authority figures. God the Father is an authority figure. This figure starts out as your parents. Your parents tell you right from the difference between right and wrong, and when you do wrong, they say you're bad. And this ideal, when you start getting this pressure on you that you're not performing, you're not doing what's right, that puts you in a one-down position. That is, you have your parents above, and then down below them is you. You're in a one-down position. You're not equal to them. They are superior, but they're not really superior. They're just keeping you in this one-down position because it makes them comfortable. So how can you be restored? The whole idea of the myth, Christianity's myth, is the restoration of people, all people. Not this isn't limited to Christianity. It's all people can be restored to their original state, which is the image of God. The image of God is just you. It's just every person is born with the image of God, but they are being kept from being mature and living and walking that out because they're being kept in a one-down position first by your parents and then by other authorities. School, you're not performing properly, so you get bad grades or whatever, and then you're not. And then the ultimate in Christianity, of course, the ultimate father figure is religious people. So if people tell you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, that's not right. These people are judgmental, and they're keeping you in your one-down position, so you cannot mature. Now, all of these people, according to these three guys, their purpose is to get you to serve them. It's not for you to mature or grow. It's to keep you down and keep them up. So, how to get back into the image of God? They give you 4 things to do to bring you back into the image of God. The first thing to do is to bond with others. Now, they say, these are 4 aspects of the personality of God that you need. So these 4 aspects are or of the personality of God. But when you see him, well, the God they're talking about is you. You can become God. That is, you're now in the mature position. No one can tell you what to do. You can now make all your own decisions, and because there's no one over you saying what you did is wrong, what you did is not up to a standard, any standard. So the first thing you have to do, these 4 aspects of the personality of God are, you have to bond with others. So why do you have to bond with others? You have to bond with others because you have been put in a position, one down position, and that's created all kinds of phobias and fears, and I can't do this. You get into performance or insecurities, or you take on addictions to compensate for your feelings of lack of confidence. There's everything that's wrong with you in your life is because you're in the one down position. So how to get out of that one down position, you need to bond with others. And this means you need to bond with the Jesus people. So the first image of God that we have, first ideal of God, is God as Father, the authority figure who is tyrannical and makes demands on you. The second ideal of God, the second revelation of God, is Jesus, who is the grace God. So the grace God just accepts you just the way you are, and that's it. And that's what he's trying to teach you, to accept yourself the way you are so that you can step up from the one down position into who you were born to be. So the second thing you have to do, after you bond with others and they build you up, and that building up is, there's nothing wrong with you, you're okay, we accept you the way you are. You accept me the way I am, I accept you the way you are, and there's no judgment ever, period. That's it. You're who you are. You're born that way. So why reject anything about yourself? This is how you were created. So the second step is you have to separate from others. So you have to bond with others first, and then you have to separate from others. This means that now once you have got the affirmation that you need, that you are no longer in the one down position, that is fallen position. This is what they call the fall, is being in the one down position. So you have the relationship with the Father. That Father places you in the fall. Then you have to get a relationship with Christ, and now you are back in the driver's seat. This is the myth that they're trying to portray. This is what they say Christianity is, this myth. So you have to separate yourself from others. That is, now you have to take, what's the words they say? You have to take, you have to claim who you are. I can't exactly remember. They've got a little cute little phrase for that. So you claim who you are. So you separate from others now, and you say, this is who I am. I accept it. And I no longer need other people's affirmation because I am left the one down position, and now I'm in a mature position. The third thing you have to do is you sort out the issues of good and bad. So now that you are mature and you're no longer in a one down position, a fallen position, no one is telling you what's right and wrong. Now you have to decide what is right and wrong. This is totally, completely up to you. You have to sort out the issues of right and wrong. And then the fourth things. This was what I was phrase. You have to take charge. You have to take charge as an adult. That is, now you are mature. No one's going to tell you. You're not going to listen to anybody. No one's going to tell you what to do. You've decided what's right and what's wrong. You've separated from the grace people because now you've exalted yourself to this place of maturity. You're no longer going to accept anybody's judgment. So you have to take charge of as an adult and do what you do and take the responsibility and consequences of all you do. So this is the myth of Christianity. So basically, it's just you need to grow up, and then grow up into what? Into a God person. You're to grow up into the authority, the father figure. You no longer take any guff off anybody. So they share one story, which is very just revealing to how some lady that they were counseling was having problems with fantasies about having a sexual relationship with her boss. So this is a female having fantasies about having a sexual relationship with her boss. So Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend told her, well, you've bonded with us. This is how they say to really bond. You need to bond with you cannot really bond and come into a knowledge of yourself and accept yourself without professional counseling. They make that very, very clear. You have to have a professional to walk you through this, also known as them. So they've taught her this. She's accepted herself the way she is. Now work out these issues. She's working out these issues of good and bad. So they tell her, take charge as an adult and do what you feel like you need to do. Be who you are. If that's who you are, if you are a lesbian person, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. And don't let anybody tell you different, because then you're letting people put their authority over you, and then you're putting yourself back into a one down position. We'll have to start this therapy all over again until you get together with that woman. So this is the ideal of the myth. And what it does is it makes you God, because the object is to restore you to the likeness and image of God. And that's who you were born to be. That's who you are. So I'm gonna make several other videos on this. This is also caught. It took him about, I don't know, from what I've read of his works, and I've read a lot of his books, probably took him about 20 years to develop this. So in the development of it, there's also several other concepts, because I can't explain, it's hard to, 10 minutes to explain concepts that this guy has taken 20, 30 years to develop, and taking the scriptures and twisting them and moving them around and manipulating things to try to integrate Christianity and psychology. This ideal actually was taught by Dr. Carl Jung, Jung, probably one of the premier psychologists ever. And he believed in this myth. He called it the Christ myth. He believed in this myth, but he was outside of the Christian community. Now, these three guys have brought this into the Christian community and tried to sanctify it and make it Christian. Mr. Young didn't try to make it Christian. He just said Christians are basically, they're kind of retarded. They understand the story, but they don't see the myth behind it. So he taught the myth, that it was a myth. Now these three guys are teaching it, but they're not. They're hiding the story. Well, you have to hide the story and only those that really, really study their works can find it. It's not for the casual reader. You read one of their books, you're not going to find it. If you read 10 of their books, which I have, and if you study them and you talk to them, then you're going to find these things. So the other concepts that we're going to go over are the ideal of the unity of truth, which states all truth is God's truth. That is a concept that is necessary to sell this ideology. The other concept is the body of Christ being the incarnate Christ. The church is the body. The church is, and it's summarized with Jesus with skin on. So what this does is deifies Christ. Who Christ is a you. Anybody that's in the church, anybody that's within these boundaries that I talked about, they're within these boundaries of the grace God. If you're part of the grace God and the grace concept of accepting everybody the way they are, so that they can come up from the one down position, then guess what? You're Jesus. That's it. Congratulations. You've moved to the head of the class. So this is what being the incarnate Christ is being part of that grace God, that grace God ideal. And there's probably a couple more that I'll have to throw in. But this will be the end of this one, and I hope if you have any of their books, you'll read them one more time and then burn them. Thank you.